Hey everybody, Who's Your Jedi here with another review for you. This time I'm talking about episode 12 of season 2 of Ultimate Spider-Man called the Itsy Bitsy Spider-Man. Now, if you guys have watched enough of my reviews, you've probably realized that I'm a fan of Star Trek. You ever see that episode of Star Trek The Next Generation where Captain Picard, Ensign Rogue, Guinan, and Keiko O'Brien get turned into kids and end up having to save the Enterprise and everybody on it from a bunch of Ferengi? Yeah, it's called Rascals. That episode is a complete and utter piece of crap. This episode is actually even worse. Now, granted, this is a kid's show, while Star Trek The Next Generation was, at least in theory, supposed to be aimed at intelligent adults. And don't get me wrong, I love Next Gen. It delivered some absolutely awesome stuff. And then it delivered some crap like Rascals. But the thing with this episode is, kids show or not, if I'd watched this even when I was a kid, even when I was the target audience for shows like this, I'd have thought this episode was stupid. I mean, you know what? I can't even bring myself to talk about what's going on in this episode too awful much because it's just so damn stupid. Look, let me just sum it up here. If you've seen the Thor movie, which if you're watching this show you probably have, you've seen what the Destroyer armor can do. And if you've seen Avengers and the Thor movie, you know that Loki is indeed a dangerous opponent. So the idea that stuff laying around a toy store could stop this? Oh man. Anyway, let's try and talk about at least some of the episode's more positive aspects. Alright, first of all, I do like at the beginning of the episode, the characters, when they find the Destroyer armor, say like, hey, wait a minute, touching this would probably be a really bad idea. And it's only because Nova has the IQ of an amoeba that all of this just goes wrong. Oh yeah, and of course everybody has to act stupid and childish, but jeez. And of course this ultimately results in them getting turned into chibis. Now Spider-Man, I believe it was, says they've been turned into bobbleheads, but I've been watching too much anime for too long to call them anything but chibis. I guess it's not. You can't say that this sort of thing doesn't have a place in the actual Marvel universe. If you're a fan of the X-Men comics, you've seen the X-Babies. Yeah, for real, that's a real thing. And even the Mighty Vengers, who are the Avengers equivalent of the X-Babies. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just swing by the Marvel Wiki and look them up, because I think the X-Babies are really, really stupid. I really, really do. Yeah, kind of. It's one of those things. It's like, really, is this happening at Marvel and not like an old DC story from like the Silver Age or even worse before? I swear to God, DC during the Silver Age was a really trippy place. Anyway, one thing else about that scene. You know, everybody's talking about, how this is Asgardian magic. Okay, we need to go find Thor. Well, here's the problem. Thor seems to know jack usually about magic. Why don't you go find Doctor Strange? I mean, yes, Thor's Asgardian, but again, magic is Loki's thing. Doctor Strange is actually probably your better bet. And, oh yeah, he's buds with Iron Fist, so he'd probably be willing to help out. And of course, none of that happens, and Nick Fury ends up throwing the Amazing Friends into daycare. Hey, have you seen the trailer for that new Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show that's coming on later this year? Looks really cool. And there's this one bit where somebody asks the newbie guy, what does S.H.I.E.L.D. stand for? And he rattles it off, and they say, well, what does that tell you? And the guy says that if someone really wanted our name to spell shield. Well, it's the exact same thing with daycare here. Points, they actually did make it seem reasonably. It fits mostly, but still. And I did like that the characters, like White Tiger, said, like, hey, we've just been reduced in size. We're still the same people we are. There's no logical reason for you to treat us like like little babies. And of course, Nick Fury completely and utterly ignores this and throws them into daycare anyway. Thus, really, how could this not completely and utterly poison any respect that they might have for him? Again, it's just so monumentally stupid, and there's no logical reason for Nick Fury to do that other than this is supposed to be a funny episode. You know, it's one of those things when writing shows aimed at young viewers that the people that make them really have to dance a fine line between what's funny and what's just honestly stupid. Now, granted, kids like stupid humor, and that sort of thing, and certainly humor that's going to sometimes seem very stupid to us adults. But, you know, humor, as subjective as it is, there is still a line between humor and stupid. And this episode is painfully on the far side of the stupid line. By the way, did you notice that the SHIELD logo that they had in the daycare sort of looks like a slightly rejiggered version of the Wonder Woman symbol? Or at least part of Wonder Woman's costume, or at least it is in some versions. Anyway, I do like in that scene that Spidey quickly susses out that that weird-ass kid is in fact Loki, so points to Spidey there. And I'll also give this episode credit. They threw in some nice shout-outs for the older fans, you know, with by the power of Asgard obviously being, or was it the power of Odin? I don't remember. Obviously being Thor doing a major shout-out to He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And the references to 1980s cartoons don't stop there, because when they're flying around, Spidey says interlocks connected or something like that. Yeah, interlocks connected, which of course is a nod to intracells connected. Mega thrusters are, however it goes. Anyway, it's a reference to the 80s cartoon show Voltron. So again, they did do a really nice job in throwing in some Easter eggs for the older viewers. We get to see the fastball special referenced again. Of course, this is a classic move from the X-Men comics that Colossus and Wolverine do. So again, a nice nod. But a few good points here and there really just don't make up for it. As I said, this episode is monumentally stupid, and Nick Fury, really, seriously, I cannot believe he would do something to so horribly sabotage the respect that these younger heroes are supposed to have for it. It's just, I'm trying to think of a word besides stupid, but I'm coming up blank. So yeah, folks, that's all I've really got for you this episode. Whew, boy, I hope this season turns around. If we get more episodes like this, I don't know if this show's been renewed for a third season yet, but if this is what we're going to have more. If we have more of episodes like this, I don't think I'm going to be able to put up with reviewing another season. But you know, let's try and stay optimistic, right? Anyway, folks, until next time, take care and have a good one.